Welcome to Jurisage Academy's YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about important recent judgments on criminal law, and this is part 1 of this video. We'll also be releasing another part where we will discuss the remaining 5 judgments on criminal law that are important for CLAT PG 2024 exam. So this video is specifically for people who are preparing for CLAT PG because you know that CLAT has been testing your knowledge of recent judgments, and with the release of recent sample papers for CLAT PG 2024, you can see that they have asked both the passages from criminal law section. So no doubt criminal law is very important for CLAT PG. So in this video we will be talking about the first 5 important judgments for criminal law which will be relevant for you guys. So let's start with the first case. The first judgment we have is that of Joseph Shine versus Union of India. Now this is a very important 5-judge bench decision. In this case, however, it's not a very lengthy judgment. In this case, the Supreme Court was clarifying its earlier judgment where it struck down section 497 of IPC, which deals with adultery. So adultery was a criminal offense, but by the 2018 judgment of Joseph Shine, the Supreme Court struck down the provisions of section 497. So in this case, the court was clarifying the impact of the 2018 judgment, and the court said that if a proceeding is initiated in court martial against personnel serving in the army for adulterous conduct, then these proceedings will not be impacted by the striking down of section 497 of IPC, because the court has clarified that in Joseph Shine 2018 case only section 497 IPC was struck down, and it does not have any bearing on the laws which are applicable on the armed forces. So with respect to this judgment, you can educate yourself more about 497 IPC, how it got struck down, and you can also read about adultery as a ground for divorce, because that will also be helpful for you guys in your preparation for family law. So this is the first important case in criminal law for CLAT 2024. Now coming to the second judgment, we have the case of Common Cause versus Union of India, another important 5-judge bench decision. Now, this is also a continuation of an earlier 2018 judgment itself by the same name, in which the Supreme Court has actually laid down the procedure for executing living will or advance directive. So this judgment was related to passive euthanasia, and this 2018 judgment basically legalized passive euthanasia and gave some guidelines as to how it will be implemented. So in this 2023 5-judge bench decision, the Supreme Court has simplified that procedure. So whenever you are reading this case, read both of them together. Read the 2018 and the 2023 judgment on the issue of passive euthanasia together. Although please note that 2018 judgment of Common Cause has already been asked in CLAT PG. So you need to make sure that you are aware about the entire history of passive euthanasia and the case laws which are related to it. Coming to the third case, we have the case of ED Government of India versus Kapil Vadhavan. In this very important 3-judge bench decision, the Supreme Court was hearing a reference on the question of default bail. So the question was referred to the Supreme Court for its decision. The issue was with respect to how to calculate the period of 60 days or 90 days for the purposes of section 167 CRPC, which provides for the concept of default bail. So in this case, the court has held that the day of remand, on the day on which the person is sent to remand, is to be included for considering the claim for default bail under section 167 CRPC. So whenever you are counting the period of 60 days and 90 days, you have to include the day of remand as well. So with respect to this, whenever you are reading this case, you need to keep your basics of bail very clear. You need to know what is default bail, what does section 167 CRPC say, and you also need to know the difference between police and judicial custody and the time duration within which both of these custodies can be ensured. Now coming to the fourth judgment, we have the case of Teesta Atul Setalvad versus State of Gujarat. It's also a 2023 case. Now in this important 3-judge bench decision, the Supreme Court was dealing with the bail application of the human rights activist Ms. Teesta. So in this judgment, the Supreme Court has clarified and elaborated upon the grant of bail and what should be the relevant and irrelevant considerations while deciding grant of bail. So in this case, the court has held that the accused not filing petition to quash FIR or charge sheet will have no relevance in deciding the bail application. So we all know that questions relating to bail and custody are very relevant for CLAT PG exam. So this case also becomes important, and you have to know the basics as well. Now, coming to the last judgment of part 1, we have the case of Premchand versus State of Maharashtra. Now, this is a two-judge bench decision by the Supreme Court on the interpretation of Section 313 of CRPC, which deals with the examination of the accused person. So, in this case, the court has summarized 10 settled principles of Section 313 CRPC, which deals with the power of the court to examine the accused. So, naturally, when you are reading this case, your understanding of 313 of CRPC should be clear. In addition to that, you should also know when can an accused person be a witness and what is the difference between 313 and 315 and what is the power of the court with respect to these matters. So with this, we've come to the end of part 1 of important cases on criminal law. We'll be releasing a second video where we will discuss the remaining 5 judgments which will be relevant for you guys. If you like this video, please like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.